Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Lawler here, as always. Quick update for you guys today with RLCS roster news. Some of the predetermined rosters and some of the things that were conversed about, changes have been made. I told you guys, again, don't take everything as fact when it comes out. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things that happen. But again, I will do my best to keep you guys up to date. As always, if you want to stay up to date easily, check out the document down below in the description. It's my roster doc. We update it as frequently as possible. But with that said, let's jump into the immediate. The big news that came out bright and early this morning is Stizzy going to be the replacement for Monkey Moon. Now, a lot of people go, wait, I thought it was Firstkiller. What the heck is going on? Let's talk about the immediate. Let's talk about what's right in front of us. Then we'll get into FK and all the other pieces and then what that means. So, first things first, Stizzy, former Dignitas. We talked about yesterday's video about how Dig was exploring options or that they were open to exploring options. What did that mean? Were they still under contract? So on and so forth. And if they are, buyout opportunities are there. And it seems like that may be the case. Again, I don't know Stizzy's contract terms or what that applies to, but the current rumors, and I can say this isn't probably a rumor, this one's pretty confirmed. Stizzy will be going to Vitality to join Zen and Exotic, which is a very interesting dynamic. I'm interested to see how this one plays out. I will say, every time I've interacted with Stizzy, great kid, absolutely adore the guy. Really nice, very conversive. Will there be language issues? That's also what I don't know. Obviously, Stizzy speaks Spanish as compared to French, which is what has been known. And it does change up some things. The dynamic that has been French super teams, French powerhouses, for them to go elsewhere is very interesting and leads me to believe that they have a lot of stock in Stizzy, and rightfully so. He's had his lows, but he has definitely, over the last tail end of the season, really bounced back and shown his heights. So very excited to see how Stizzy performs on this roster in particular. On top of that, a new coach. Cassio, as you guys know, retired. He is no longer. Eversack's former of Mates is coming in, which makes sense if Mates are going to be picking up the former NIP duo of Oski and Nas. The assumption is they would keep their coach in Snasky. So basically some rosters that are staying pretty much the same, just shifting under what banner, which is really annoying, if I'm being honest, if I'm a new fan coming in and I'm trying to pay attention to be like, wait, he was on that team. It's like, well, no, he was on that team, but then they dropped that team and picked up a different team. So that it's convoluted as hell. So that being said, Eversack's former coach of Mates with Eugen and the boys no longer looking to be coaching for Vitality. I think it's a pretty dope opportunity. Again, another big organization, Vitality, one of the bigger fan bases. Not that Mates was small by any means, but this team, I expect a full-time boot camp. I expect them to be in facilities. I think it's a really cool opportunity for Stizzy to see that structure and solidification, considering the dude has been living out of Airbnbs and international stuff, and this last year he got to settle back in. Now let's take the next step. So a lot of fun. Stizzy did tweet the B gif. He's farming. Zen replied, like, lock it in, boys. It's happening. That being said, when you look at this, we then have to talk about the inverse. What does that mean for Dignitas? Dignitas now has two rumors applied. Number one, Stizzy going, and we then have Jorias, who is looking to potentially, according to Shift, team up with Oli. This is not the first time we've seen this. Joris and Oli, obviously both from the same area, familiarity, being able to speak their native tongue, that seems to be a common thing. It was part of the reason why it worked so well when we had Super Oli with Nas back when we did the Paris Games Week last year that I coached as a small stint. So Joris and Oli looking to team back up. Whether that'll happen or not, we'll have to wait and see. If they find a third, but what I would bet on and what I would assume is that is a comfort pick where they go, hey, if we're just trying to get reps in, if we're just trying to see how things go, this is where we will land. But the opportunity, if an org comes around, say hypothetically that Oski and Nas are like, yo, Joris, yo, Oli, we want you. They jump ship immediately. They take the guaranteed pay. They do exactly what they did last time. Again, Super Oli was Nas, Joris, and Oli. Oli went GK. Nas went on IP. Joris went Dig. I would not be surprised if that's the same intent and the same desire, but it's good to have a backup or someone that is reliable to say, hey, if things don't work out, I know that you're at least a veteran player. I know what you're capable of. I know you can make majors. We'll team back up. So that's what I assume is happening, but the current rumor is that those two are kind of pairing. It might be early scrim iterations. We'll see what ends up happening there. Last piece of the puzzle is apparently Jack. I don't know what that boy's up to. It was his birthday. yesterday, today, technically, when I'm recording this video. So happy birthday to Jack. It sounds like he is now starting to get into scrims and tryouts. That stuff, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to share because it is privileged information that I said I would keep my mouth shut. So I can't tell you that he does have scrim scheduled for this week. I don't know if he'll go with that one. It's with some newer talent, which is good to see that he's trying that. But I would expect Jack to be paired with more veteran rosters, if I had to say anything. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he goes back to NA. I doubt it, though. I think he's pretty happy with his living situation. So what does that mean then for the other part of it? The initial rumors, the initial conversations were that Firstkiller was actually supposed to be going to Vitality. And a lot of people go, well, what do you mean? That's not happening anymore? It was something that was considered, but outside factors tend to play a determination in how that works. I do think there is a trend that you can kind of notice in FK's previous teams. And if that opportunity is not there, then he's not going to do it. What that exactly is, we don't need to go into. But I will say I do feel like when Firstkiller can have control of what happens with the roster, kind of control his own fate in the future, giving that up is scary. I personally believe that is a good thing. I would have loved to see FK come to EU away from his old environment where he is the guest. He is not the star player. You know, he is associated with other really talented players, and sure, he deserves the respect, but it's a foreign environment. It's not familiar. And I think that unfamiliarity would make him a better player. It would make him more supportive. It would make him less, hey, feed me the rock, and more, how can I set up my teammates? Which I think would really make his career take that extra level, maybe a chance to actually win the whole thing. We haven't seen him able to do yet. So that in mind, I don't foresee others being willing to pay the money and do the thing to make it happen, especially if Juicy is already potentially going to KC. Because of that, my assumption is that FK is going back to North America. The original conversations, we've been seeing him play a ton with Kofer. Kofer and FK have been playing a ton together. I would not be surprised if you find some sort of iteration with those. I don't know, and we've talked about this, what iteration that is going to be. Between the leftovers from Space Station, from Ultimates, what is going to happen? Are they going to go LJ? Are they going to go Reveal? Are they going to... I do not know. I don't know what iteration it is, but I would feel very confident that FK, Kofer plus third is a thing. Who that third is supposed to be, we'll have to wait and see. I do have more information about what the early tryouts and what the early organizations for those two plus third would have been. But again, just rumors. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Maybe they'll bring in an import. Maybe they'll try something different. Again, if I was these players, I would not hold anything back. At the end of the day, if you can scrim and do a tryout on like 80 to 100 ping, it's not too bad. So some interesting developments that are happening. I can tell you NA is about to get just as chaotic as EU has been. What makes it out into the public light is a whole different story. It's been chaotic, I can tell you that. So yeah, some pretty interesting iterations, some weird like culmination of all different iterations has been happening, and I'm excited to see what finally lands, because it's a lot. The only other thing that we haven't talked about, because it's pretty well known, Kansas City Pioneers and Limitless kind of had a weird merger. It's not technically a merger because they didn't absorb Limitless. It's just the Limitless staff left and then joined Pioneers. So you have Pioneers that still has the business element, and then they have the Limitless side that is the esports element. And those two things combined. Because of that, it is pretty much a guarantee that if Pioneers picks up a team, which I think they have to, because they've already been approved for the partnership program with Limitless, to have a decal in game, to earn rev share with decal sales, they have to pick up an SSA team. Whether that is going to be Sweaty and To Die For +1 import, or if it is going to be Snowy and Guns +1 as an import, that we do not know. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. I'm sure it's going to come down to finances. It's going to come down to what makes the most sense. How much are people asking for an import? The costs involved, all that fun stuff. So all of those things are we're kind of waiting and seeing for SSA. And then SSA's got to send one to the events when the time comes. So interesting stuff across the board. I'll keep you guys up to date with everything that I find out when it happens. But yeah, kind of a quicker update today, but letting you guys know that there's a lot of moving parts. But until it gets locked in, who the heck knows what's going to happen. Either way, that does it for me today. As always, like, subscribe, notifications. Check out the description down below if you want the document. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.